Wounded Warrior Umpire Academy would not be successful if it wasn't for this next group.
Yeah, so this morning we talked to Jim Kirk and umpire.com, and they kind of do the lion's share of helping us take care of veterans with umpiring equipment and whatnot. But we couldn't do any of this without veterans and getting them there. And somebody that's been instrumental in this is our next guests, and that's the Semper Fi America's Fund. Back in the day when I was the XO of the Wounded Warrior Battalion, I was friends with Dawn Van Skike. I think she was a case manager back then in the trailers across the street. And I brought her this idea, and she was like, I think we can get behind that. And from there, the start of a beautiful friendship. And we're grateful to have Dawn with us with a couple of special guests. Welcome, Dawn, and I'll let you introduce your guests with us today.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. So I'm Dawn. I'm here actually with Jasper and Matt, in this crazy virtual setting. We're in your little boxes somewhere on the screen. Right. We're literally in different parts of the country, so it's fun to actually see each other in this setting too. So we're super excited to be kicking off your veteran portion of your summit. Thanks so much for having us. So Jasper and I work for a nonprofit organization. We're called Semper Fi America's Fund. Most of you guys may know us as Semper Fi Fund. We've recently adjusted our name just to make sure that we cover our changes over the years. So we actually started back in 2004, and we assisted mainly Marines. And so back in 2012, we kind of branched out to all of the services. So it's just come full circle now. We kind of changed our name to show everybody that we're here for all services. We now have 25,000 service members in our family. And I really do say family because that's what we are. We are a nonprofit organization, but every single person becomes a family member to us. So we check in on each other like we do family members, and we help each other during challenging times. So I know many of you are part of our family already, so it's really fun to be here with you guys in this way. We've really grown so much over the years, and we've really adjusted our programs just like today's times. We've kind of changed to a lot of virtual things, just so that kind of goes along with what we've done for the last many years of just adapting and changing our programming to help with the veterans and what they need. So just in general, a great way for you guys to check and see what we do is to check out our website. We're at thefund.org, where you can search our name, either Semper Fi Fund or Semper Fi America's Fund. But just in light of us being here in a sports-centered mindset, we thought we would talk more about our programs that are centered around sports and in our ways of connecting with each other. So as Greg said, I'm sure you guys were a little bit curious how we were connected to the Academy here. And really, it was fun to talk to Greg back in the day, years ago, and we love to think out of the box. So this was a great opportunity, and honestly, it's so much more than learning the role of an umpire or the love of the game. It's more about the connection, and we've really seen not only through just our program, but through the Wounded Warrior Academy as well, as it literally is saving lives. Those connections truly save lives. So I thought I would kind of hit some of the programs that we have that work in those aspects, of really making those connections in our sport mindset. So we actually have a team, Team Semper Fi, Team America's Fund. It's huge now. It started so small, and we actually have athletics specialties of all sorts. It's training camps. We do specialty clinics for things like surfing, fishing, cycling, skiing even. We do some big events through the year, and actually I've met Matt several times at our Marine Corps Marathon event. It's like one big happy family reunion, really. and we do the Army 10 miler. Right now, we've kind of switched gears, and the team is really doing a lot of cool virtual events. We're doing panels to talk with coaches and professional athletes. They're doing, yoga classes online together. They're doing CrossFit, indoor cycling, golfing. It's really amazing to see how they've adapted. It's really keeping people in the right well-being mindset of staying active and fit, even during all this pandemic. So we also have a horsemanship program called Jinx McCain. It's a really cool program for veterans actually working with expert horsemen on ranches. And it's all throughout the West Coast, and they learn horse skills and herding and roping, things like that. They do leather works.
Wow.
We've actually adapted that program right now. They're doing leather works at home. And so, but still having that connection with each other. One of my favorite programs is our unit reunions and our veteran reunions. As we said before, those connections are super important, and nobody quite understands what you've been through than those who were in your unit when you deployed together. So we've really seen that importance, and are working hard to reconnect small units to get together to reunite for a weekend. It's a lot of camaraderie and just reconnection. They do all sorts of fun activities during the reunion, and it ranges, event to event, but they do horseback riding, rafting, fishing, concerts, bonfires, sporting events, and all that good stuff. Along with that, we also do veteran reunions, which are more of a regional event. So we try to get people together in their regions so they know, other veterans living in their areas, so they can easily connect and continue those friendships in their local areas. We also include families in a lot of those events. And so in some regions, we just have a lot of great family connections, which is really neat to see. Let's see, I'm trying to think if there's any other great, we do offer some events for caregivers as well, caregivers and our kiddos. Jasper and I actually just spent the summer with our kids of our family members doing a virtual kids camp. So we are kids at heart, right, Jasper? So what I'm going to do is hand things over to Jasper. He's part of one of my very favorite programs that we offer, and it's our veteran to veteran program. So I'm just going to hand it over to Jasper.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jasper Heilig. I've worked with the Semper Fi Fund now for 7 years. I spent 15 years in the Marine Corps and transitioned out into this job, got out solely for this job, and really it's just the best of both worlds. I wake up every morning, I call a Marine, text a soldier, email a sailor, help out an airman, a lot of times at the worst parts of their lives. But then also nobody's telling me I have to shave or do PT. So I get the best of all of it. I get to go to a lot of our events and really just hang out with my heroes. And so it's a phenomenal program. And with our V2V program, veteran to veteran program, we're all veterans that have basically been there, done that, got the t-shirt. I had 3 deployments to Afghanistan. And so I can understand what another veteran that has deployed has been through. But as far as our program, we kind of try to focus on 5 well-beings and trying to help keep a well-rounded veteran and being a productive citizen and whatnot. But those 5 that we really focus on are mental, financial, social, physical, occupational. And we as veterans tend to kind of just focus a little bit on either that occupational or that financial one, and we leave all those other ones to the side and maybe touch on that here and there, but we try to help keep a good well-rounding of that and focus on all of it so that you don't, if you're focused only on one, something's going lack in the other and really start affecting that other piece and everything. So that's the main thing that we do, and just try to help with that camaraderie as well. Sometimes somebody just needs an ear to listen, and luckily I was born with big ears, so I've got that listening thing down pat. Also, and as you can see, we've got Matt Bradford here, and it's an honor to introduce not only just a personal hero of mine, but a friend as well. He's a Marine that I met while we were both active duty in 2011. He's a native Kentuckian and joined the Marine Corps after witnessing the attacks on September 11th. So in 2007, while he was in Haditha, Iraq, he stepped on an IED. It resulted in him losing both his legs and his eyesight. If you notice, I said that he was injured in 2007, and we met while we were both active duty in 2011. Matt Bradford is the first, possibly the only, but I can't confirm or deny that part, but I know that he's the first blind double-leg amputee to re-enlist in the Marine Corps.
Wow.
Really is just his little hashtag is no legs, no vision, no problem. But for someone that can't see, Matt Bradford's got the best vision that I've ever seen in anyone, and just determination, and has really used sports as a way to not only improve himself, but improve others like myself. And without further ado, my hero, Matt Bradford.
Thank you, Jasper. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we got you.
Yep.
You, Don, as well. So the one thing I look forward to, I grew up, loved sports, loved being outdoors, just getting involved in activities. And, January 18, 2007, when I stepped on an IED and it sent trauma through both my eyes, removed my legs, I was in a coma for 3 weeks. And when I woke up, I had to face the decision on what am I going to do with my own life? I can't do what I could do before. And, thanks to people like Jasper and the Marine Corps, Semper Fi Fund, I've had a lot of amazing people who surrounded themselves in my hospital room, who helped me understand that no matter what my injuries are, like I could still live a successful life. And early on, when I was battling like depression, guilt, all this stuff, and trying to figure out at the age of 20, what am I going to do with my life? I wanted to live as most a normal life as possible. Once I got my mind straight, my attitude changed. I started realizing and creating these goals in my head that, okay, with no legs, no vision, there's opportunity for me in this life. And it's all outside that hospital door, but I need to make sure that I focus on what I need to do first, better myself first before I go out and better others and serve others and give back. And, the first step was to learn how to walk. The second step was to learn the vision. And then, one of the things mentioned earlier, it's just lead by example. I'd go to therapy every day. My physical therapist told me one day was, Matt, you can't see this, but when you wake up every day, you come into therapy, you're happy, you're motivated, and you put your legs on and you stand up and you walk out. But people see that every day. And they think to themselves, I'm over here on the floor struggling, wondering what's next, and if I'm ever going to learn how to walk again. And then they see a blind guy with no legs come in, put his legs on, stand up and walk out. And then, trying to learn how to walk one day, I was bouncing off the left wall, the right wall. I didn't want to fall. So I kept tripping over my own feet. And I was frustrated because how can walking, which used to be so easy, how am I struggling to do this now? And my therapist stopped me and said, Matt, whatever you do, just put one foot forward and walk. And I thought of that later on in life, that, each step for me is like each day, that we're not guaranteed tomorrow. We're not guaranteed next week. I'm not guaranteed my next step. It could be into a wall, off a curb, or whatever. But I want to learn to keep pushing forward, because I know sooner than later, no matter what the obstacles, the barriers, or struggles, like if I keep pushing forward, then that something good, the light at the end of the tunnel, is going to come. On April 7, 2010, when I re-enlisted in the Marine Corps, which was the ultimate goal in 2007, that I knew the road was going to be tough. People were going to tell me, no, don't do this, retire. But I made sure that I put everything that I had in, the work, the attitude, the positivity, everything I needed to do to make sure that when they look at my packet for re-enlistment, then they'd have to give me a really good decision on denying it. And I had a chance after 2010 to re-enlist. I went to the Wounded Warrior Battalion, where I met Jasper, and got a chance to serve 2.5 more years. And that gave me the opportunity to call it quits on my own when I realized that an active duty Marine, ultimately wanted to deploy over and over again. I couldn't do that no more, but I could still share my story and serve others by not being in uniform, but being able to call it quits on my own, I think helped me out so much. Today I use athletics, because again, I want to live a life just as normal as anyone else. I felt like when I first got hurt that anything in this world you all could do with vision with legs that I could do. So, it wasn't the training. It was just staying active in the gym, working out, hand cycling. Me and my friend, we learned how to hand cycle on our own. I ran into curbs. I flipped the thing a few times. I even broke a guy's hand just learning how to hand cycle. And I've done 7 marathons. I've done, I think 7 half marathons. And it's, but it's not that. It's trying to find something new, a new challenge every year that's not set on doing the same, living my life throughout the bare minimum. I don't like being stuck doing the same thing over and over again. I wanted the challenge, from surfing to swimming to jet skiing, attempting Mount Rainier the last 2 years. Last August, I got on a tandem upright bike, 407 miles across the state of Kentucky. It's just, it's funny. This weekend, actually, tomorrow I'm traveling to Utah to march 16 miles in the desert. So, I've learned that pain is temporary. It's you're going to heal up, you're going to get better, but as I learned in 2009 when I did the Baton Death March and I walked 10 or 14 miles, that was the first thing in my life I ever quit on. And then I was just proud, 2 years, I was hurt 2 years ago, I just walked 10 miles in 8 hours. But then looking back on it, I'm like, I quit, just because my back was sore, my wrist was sore, I quit. Pain is temporary. Pain's going to heal and you're going to get better from pain. But the worst thing in the world is quitting. And I'm not a quitter. And I realized that way back when I first got hurt that, okay, there's a lot of things that hurt. There's a lot of pain. There's many ways and avenues that I could have chose, but I didn't want to choose that. I didn't want the self-pity. I didn't want the poor me. I wanted to go out and live my life to the fullest. And, I wanted to wake up every day motivated. I wanted to have the attitude because I realized that the positive attitude that you can overcome anything in life. If you walk into any situation and you got a negative outlook on it, then you're automatically going to fail. I wanted to be resilient because I knew that life's not perfect and God's going to throw obstacles your way each morning, that every day when you wake up, it's like combat. It's like you're going to go into a battle. You need to be prepared. You need to be ready to go, and just imagining everything, a lot of times when I do a marathon or an event, a Spartan race or whatever, I'm automatically thinking, okay, what's my Facebook post going to be at the end? Because people in life, when the things get tough or when failure sets in, they automatically quit. They can't just push forward. They can't just walk, as I use as my mantra. And then, never quit. That's just an aspect of me. I've never been a quitter in my life, except for that Baton Death March, which motivated me to go out and complete the Baton Death March last year, all 14 miles. And, just to enjoy everything about life, being blessed with, God giving me a chance to go out and serve others, to inspire and motivate with my story and understand that no matter what your difficulties are, whatever your struggles are, just got to keep putting one foot forward. When I think about that, I think of the motivate, attitude, resiliency, imagination, never quit, and enthusiasm, and joy. It spells Marine. And that has motivated me from day one to wake up every morning and just go out and give it all I got. So when I put my head on the pillow and close my eyes, I know that I did a good job that day. And I'm going to wake up to a brand new day, and everything in the past is the past. And it's just motivated me every day with my family, my friends, my brothers, my sisters. And, it's I just love this life I've been given. I'm super blessed and very grateful to everybody who has come in my life. And I've learned that, you surround yourself with good people and that'll help you get through anything. I got a lot of medals, I got ribbons, I got, everything that's helped me get through Spartan races and marathons, doing surfing, all this fun stuff. But I would have never been able to do it without those who I surround myself with. And people always ask me, it's like, Matt, are you ever afraid of when you do this stuff, afraid of going down a hill blind 40 miles an hour? And I always tell them no, because I trust those who I'm with, that they're going to do everything they can to make sure I'm safe, and we're going to get through this together. So I really appreciate you, Jasper, Don, for having me on to talk a little bit about my story and share. I mean, these last 13 years, I'm getting old, but you know what? I feel like age is only a number, and I'm trying to find always what's next in life. And so thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks, Matt.
That's
I would like to just encourage any of you, like if you get a chance, check out some of Matt's social media. If you're ever having a bad day and you're like, oh, I'm too tired to go for a run or something, you can get on there and see him doing pull-ups with a weighted vest on or chain around him, and really just putting it, like, makes a able-bodied like myself feel really, really bad about myself a lot. But really will encourage you. And really, Matt, super humble guy as well. I failed to mention that he, after re-enlisting in the Marine Corps and finishing up, retiring out, he went to the University of Kentucky, got his degree there, worked a year or two with congressmen there under their Veterans Initiative there, and has really just done a lot of great work for veterans even outside of our fund, just helping. And just a
You forgot the most important part, Jasper.
and he's the only blind person to beat me in darts so far. we typically have an annual tradition of throwing darts at the Marine Corps Historic Half Marathon and the Marine Corps Marathon, but unfortunately due to COVID, we haven't figured out how to do a virtual darts yet. So
yeah.
I got a feeling he'd beat you in that too.
I think,
no doubt.
yeah, Matt, I think you might be a natural umpire.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
When I first got back to Kentucky, I think in 2013, they started a program here, and you might be familiar with it, called Beat Baseball, baseball for the blind. The ball is probably about the size of a softball, and it beeps. So, right, you're just kind of set there to play just like regular baseball. And, they kind of tell you that they're getting ready to pitch it, like, and then you just listen for it to beep. And when you feel like you're getting close, you swing. And you either run to first base or third base. And, and if you get to first or third base, you get a point before the fielders find the ball and pick it up, just like you do in T-ball. You pick it up and hold it up. And if you don't get to the base before they pick it up and hold it up, then you're out. Game. And it's interesting, that's for sure.
Does the base make a noise so you know where you're going?
Yeah, it has different like little beeps or tones on it, so okay, that's not the ball that I'm running towards, that's actually the base.
Yeah.
So but yeah, it's fun. I had a chance to play it back in a few years, 2013. We got the Lexington Legends, which is a single A baseball team, kind of involved with it as well. We toured up to Fort Knox to the Rural Warrior Transition Battalion, and they have professional leagues, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, wow.
But you have baseball for the blind called Beat Baseball.
Can I ask you one more question? Can you do that, since we're all military here? Can you do that acronym again? Because I hadn't heard that acronym, and that's perfect. Marine.
Oh, that's just, something I just come up over the years: motivation, attitude, resiliency, imagination, never quit, and enthusiasm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've always heard the muscles are required, intelligence not essential. So
That's awesome. That's great. So go ahead. You got a question?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a question just yet, but it's amazing, hearing your story, and Jasper's going through the program of who the America's Fund and Semper Fi America's Fund is, and Dawn would probably know that as a Wounded Warrior Umpire Academy, there's a lot of tenets of what we try to do that are almost identical and in line with what the Semper Fi America's Fund does. And Matt, when we hold an academy, we do a 10-day class, and after 7 days, we hold a graduation before we put the Wounded Warriors in live games. And we always nominate somebody during that class to be either the honor graduate, like Matt received, or the motivational graduate. And You know, it's kind of like your service schools. You know, you go to sergeant's course and somebody ends up being the Moto grad and somebody gets the honor grad. So we don't give anybody any test scores or anything like that, but the staff votes on who the honor grad's going to be. But the Moto grad is voted on by all the participants that had gone through the class. And it's the one that they have been inspired by the most to fuel them every day when, you know, they get out of bed in the morning. Cause we run everybody. I mean, it's 8 o'clock in the morning and we're out doing line drills and
Just like boot camp.
yeah. And we actually bring food in so we don't waste time. So like, no, you don't get an hour and a half for lunch. You get 10 minutes. Yeah, we're right back in it.
It's like boot camp.
Yeah. What's it like again, Matt?
Boot camp.
Oh, okay, just checking. All right. And then, you know, in the afternoon around 1600, we'll bag it and go back to the hotel, do dinner and then classroom session. And, you know, when you wake up in the morning, you think, man, we got another full day ahead. And some of our alumni are like, you got to give me some more of that Motrin. And it's rough because taking that vitamin M and that hydrocortisone cream to kind of keep things from itching. And, you know, but there's always one that stands out. And Matt, you remind me of those people that have received the Moto recipient award that stand out, and everybody just kind of, you know, Jasper, you hit the nail right on the head. You know, you look at him, you think, man, I'm able-bodied, and this guy is just pumping it out. And, you know, one year we had a guy, and I don't know if he's listening or not, but we had a guy had probably the most severe traumatic brain injury I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it was so bad that it literally affected his motor function, and he kind of walked like Frankenstein. And his attitude was top notch. It's still top notch today. I mean, the guy's had tons of surgeries, but just an amazing character. And he got out there every single day, just like you said, Matt, 1 foot in front of the other, even though he could barely walk himself, 1 foot in front of the other. And everybody just kind of looked at him and said, I got nothing to complain about.
Yeah.
And they just got after it. And I love that guy. We still keep in touch with him. And I think he's actually part of the Semper Fi America's Fund. But yeah, just an amazing story, Matt, and your inspiration, just hearing what you have to face day in and day out. But, you know, you choose to live a life that is a challenge, and it is so inspiring. And, you know, God bless you and what you're doing. And, you know, you're just trying to, you know, make the best of a crappy situation, I suppose. But along the same lines, man, you are affecting so many different people, and I can't thank you enough for coming on. I know this is probably all a ploy because Dawn didn't really want to talk. She just wanted to bring along, you know, the shoe in and say, yeah, I'm just going to come out looking really good. But
thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate it. It's, you know, I feel like the reason why God kept me alive 13 years ago was this was my ultimate purpose in life, is, you know, to share, to give back, and to serve, and to let people know that no matter what daily difficulties you deal with or struggles, you know, there's always a way. You know, they always told me at Paris Island, the quickest way off this island is to graduate. So I look at that when I go out and do anything in this world. It's like the quickest way to finish the march, the race, whatever it is to just to cross the finish line, because you get that sense of like, you know, victory almost, you know. And it's like, because it's, again, just like me doing the Baton Death March in 2009, it's that quitting that lingered and bothered me, you know, until I finally crossed the finish line 10 years later. But I made sure that when I walked into any kind of situation between 2009 and 2019, that I was prepared, my body was good, my prosthetics were going to be good to go, that I was ready for it. And, you know, I did a bike ride down in Fort Campbell a 101-mile bike yard, and it was like 75 miles into it, and I had to get my prosthetic leg off because I had to put a sock on it. And I was sitting on the side of the road, and they're like, oh, you can get back in the security vehicle, and we'll just pick you up at the next stop. Like, the only security vehicle I'm getting in is an ambulance, okay? Because I'm not going to be that person, all right? I don't care if I'm crawling, if I'm like passed out. I'm going to cross the finish line, you know, and I'm not going to come out here and half it. I'm going to do it all. So.
Wow, Jasper, where are you at, man? Come on, you gotta catch up.
Oh, Yeah, so his wife and I have we've challenged each other to do the historic half before. We both did, not at the same time, and then we did the 10K at the Marine Corps Marathon as well.
Yeah.
I think Matt was planning on doing the 50K at the Marine Corps Marathon this year, but and I was going to do it with him.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Dang it, COVID guy canceled it. That's just wrong.
I will say, Jasper, you ran a marathon a few years ago with pretty much no training at all. So
That's impressive.
Yeah. I bet you that hurt.
Yeah.
Some what was that acronym earlier? The required intelligence.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. I've never ridden or tried to ride one of those hand bikes. I mean, that's got to take some serious upper body strength. I mean, how hard is that, Matt, to learn how to do that?
Luckily, no lower body strength. So
yeah, exactly. People always ask me, like, why don't you wear your legs when you do something? Because that's more weight.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good point. That's
Think
good
smarter in some of
right?
this stuff. And,
See, we Marines, we're pretty smart, you know.
Sometimes.
it's, at first, it was tough, but you know, a lot of the hand cycles, like once you learn the gears, you know, it makes it easier. I mean, really, I don't start feeling a marathon until about mile 20. That's when I'm like, my butt's sore. You know, I got to use the restroom. And then like at that time at the Marine Corps Marathon, it's like you're crossing the bridge and you start smelling the food and
No.
like, oh, I just want to get off this thing now. But I enjoy it, you know, and you know, me and my the guy that I ride with, I met him in 2009 at the detachment in San Antonio, and him and I are just friends. You know, we just got there and chit chat, joke around, and before you know it, the marathon's over with. And you know, that's the one thing with I just, you know, it's fun to do all these things, but the most important part is just to get out there and the camaraderie, the brotherhood, and you know, because the same thing with the Marine Corps Marathon, it's like we're all back in our homes now. Like we don't see each other every day, and for those few times a year that we can get together for the Marine Corps Marathon or an event together, then that's finally the time that we could sit down and just chat and you know, catch up and you know, talk about our family, since we're all old parents now, it seems like. But that's the one thing I always look forward to the Marine Corps Marathon. That's my end of the year event where I can just get together with like friends I haven't seen in a year. You know, some in a couple of years, and you know, like Jasper and I get together and play darts. You know, it's our thing that we do, and usually it's that one time a year that we get a chance to do it.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that because it's such, like you said, and now I want to transition back over to Dawn, but real quick, but it's so important, right, to get together, and that's what the Wounded Warrior Umpire Academy is all about. Also, Matt, is that you know, it brings people together, brings veterans together, and it gives us a chance to lean on each other. And like Greg says it all the time, baseball is just our excuse, right? Umpiring is just our excuse. It's really, it gives us that opportunity to do that. And Dawn, you're so important. And you know, what you guys do is so important for the Wounded Warrior Umpire Academy, but you do so much more. So we're getting close on time here, but I wanted you to talk about, you know, how does somebody get involved in the Semper Fi and America's Fund?
Absolutely. See, my part is easy because they are the meat of what we do, right? Who we serve is why we serve. And Jasper and I say it all the time, we're the luckiest people in the world. We have the best jobs in the world. So in order, if you're interested in kind of seeing what our programs are, and if you qualify or just want to talk to somebody, we actually have a great website that's full of information. It's constantly changing. We have a lot of social media outlets as well. But on our website, there is a contact us button. And we're very responsive. So you can input any questions in there, whether or not you want to see if you're eligible for services or if you're interested in a particular program. And we have staff that will monitor that and get right back to you. So we're very easy to approach. And I can't say it better than Matt did himself, and just, it's who you surround yourself with. And, you know, so being part of this connection of just our whole, we intermingle a lot in these organizations, doing what's best for the veterans and really, you know, helping you stay connected and moving forward. So yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, each year, every time we put out the registration link for the academy, we always bring in new applicants, and we always cycle the applicants through Semper Fi and America's Fund, because we want to be able to provide those resources, whether they qualify or not. It's not for me to judge. I just want everybody to have the resources available to them, and so everybody that applies goes through the Semper Fi and America's Fund, so that if they do qualify, much in the same way that the Academy is, and this is one of the things I love about Semper Fi and America's Fund, is that it's not just a one-time deal. That was always my complaint as an XO of a Wounded Warrior Battalion, is that you have all these organizations come in and say, hey, I want to take you fishing. Hey, I want to take you golfing. And, that's great. And I really appreciate that. But what about after? There is no after. It's just like, oh, well, we only want to do this one thing. But, with the Academy, we wanted to come together and be able to continue to support our alumni. And that's exactly who you guys are. You live to support and continue to support. And you touched on it briefly, but oh my goodness, you guys do wonderful things for the families of veterans. Your focus on kids is second to none. And it's amazing that you guys live and breathe your mission statement. And it's not just lip service. It's truly something that, if you qualify for the Semper Fi and America's Fund and you haven't applied, you're doing yourself a disservice. It's an amazing group, an amazing organization that, you said it at the beginning. There's no way we could do what we do as the Wounded Warrior Umpire Academy without their support and help. So, yeah, Dawn, you guys are amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having us. We've loved being a part of your growth in the Academy. It's fun to see starting out when it wasn't even an organization. So
right.
How many years later, here you are having your own.
Where the Lee says in his head, anytime he feels that imposter syndrome, he says like, nope, I belong here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do my job.
Yeah.
And I thought it was great.
Well, we're up at the time. So,
so I've already kind of said my thanks here, but I want to turn it back over to you guys for any parting shots. But you guys are simply amazing, and I love everything about your organization. And truth be told, I've cheated a little bit and modeled the Academy off of your values. Again, we couldn't do what we do without you guys. So I'll give it back over to you guys for the final shot.
I'll start out with that and then leave it to Dawn. But I'll just say thanks for having us. I've had several friends go through your academy, and have done really great things, and it's really been very beneficial to them. But I always say, like, even when I was in the Marine Corps, Semper Fidelis is the motto of the Marine Corps. But to me, it's always been more. It's a way of life. You wake up every day, you're always faithful to on the little things, and everything else is going to play out all right. And that's kind of what the fund is. It's just always faithful to those that have served. And so thanks for letting us get on and share that with everyone. Matt, thank you for being here and motivating us all.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Dawn, parting shots? Matt?
I'll leave it to Matt. Matt, do you have anything?
Just to kind of piggyback off what Jasper said, it's just, just to continue to get out and serve others. If it wasn't for the leadership in the Marine Corps, Semper Fidelis, all of the leadership traits and values that I learned, honor, courage, and commitment as a Marine, then I wouldn't be here today. And it's just, for all of us, just finding ways to get out and be around Marines and reaching out and connecting with your brothers and your sisters. And, I love the Semper Fi Fund, so grateful for them and what they do. And, thank you all so much for having me on here today.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Truly
Want to show the picture of Matt?
Yeah. So Dawn,
I wish I had a way to share the screen. I would have shown you.
I'll hold it up.
I'll hold it up here, but we'll do a better job at sharing. This is Matt and doing his literal handiwork.
Throw out that's Jonathan Reyna, another Marine that rides along beside him, calls out commands, lets you know when people are in the way, yells at people to get out of the way, and stuff like that. Huge shout out to Jonathan Reyna.
Yeah.
That's great. We'll, with your permission, we'll put that on our website and share that out, and we'll inspire a lot more people for you.
Matt, that's you and Jonathan crossing the finish line at the Marine Corps Marathon, 2014-15 timeframe.
Oh, you almost be taking pictures. Oh.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We appreciate you guys coming on and appreciate everything that you guys do for the Wounded Warrior Umpire Academy. Just
Absolutely.
incredible.
All right.
Thanks. Have a wonderful day.
All right.
All right,
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.